If you were talking to let's say like a 16 or 17-year-old when they're starting to really think about like, ooh, this could be something that I really wanted to do. If you not as like a coach, but as just like as a person giving them advice, what would you suggest? Because maybe they'll go back and do the things that you talked about in terms of playing those sports, but assuming that they're already kind of at a point where maybe they've got a sport that they like or they're good at, what would the next couple years, what would you ideally want those next couple years to look like for them, knowing that they're still a few years away from really peak performance? How do they spend 16, 17, 18 to when they hit 19 and 20, they can be competitive?
Yeah. So everyone asks like, what is it? Is it wrestlers? Is it gymnasts? Is it track and field athletes? In the women's field, a lot of soccer players excel. Yeah. I would want my athletes to be Olympic weightlifting at that age. Once we get to that age, I want them to put a lot of effort into that. Conditioning takes months to develop. Strength takes years to develop. It's, a lot of people in the strength world, Louis Simmons says it's, how do you get strong? Years. That's the answer. I want to get strong. What should I do? Like start lifting and spend years doing it. Yeah. It takes a long, long time to develop that. If you want to build up your wind, it's a 6-month training cycle. Like I can put you that's what they do for the Tour de France. They go 6 weeks, really intense to build up your wind. 6 weeks is going to get you, if you're if you've been doing CrossFit for 4 or 5 years, 6 weeks might, if you do have a phenomenal training program, might get you 5% on your strength gains. You need to lift for years. Mm-hmm. And it's a huge differentiating factor in our sport. Now, I don't want that to come across as it's the number one defining characteristic, because once you're strong enough, conditioning is the number one play. And that's a secret people just don't know. Yeah. You look at the open, the year that they had the 1 rep max clean and jerk. Yep. Rich Froning and Matt Fraser, who came in first and second in that open, were way down the list. Hundreds of people beat them in the clean and jerk, but 0 people beat them in the thruster row. The thruster row is the one that sucks. It's the one that hurts. It's the work capacity test. It's only a 95-pound barbell, but they were both in the top 4 in the world in that. It's the work capacity that wins once you're strong enough. Yeah. But we got to get strong enough.
Right. And the idea being you can get too strong because if you're spending that much time or energy or effort getting stronger, you're not.
Yeah. So it's not too strong, but it's too strong at the expense of something else. Yeah. So truthfully, like let's take Katrin for an example. Katrin is middle of the road last year. She's going to be different this year. Last year, she was middle of the road, middle of the pack in the strength events, but she dominated the work capacity tests. There's only 1 or 2 pure strength events. There is 11 or more work capacity tests. Yep. Well, you tell me which one you'd rather excel at. Right. Now you have to be strong enough. If Katrin doesn't have a 165 snatch, she's not going to the games. She can't get there. You have to be strong enough. But once you're a female and once you have a 200 pound, 210 pound snatch, you're strong enough. Now let's work on the work capacity side of things. But we got to get up there for these kids that need to get there.